Hello students, today we'll talk about certain things about electric field which we should not forget. So far we saw definition of electric field, we learned how to find out electric field due to point charge or system of charges or distributed charge. Now today we'll analyze the characteristics of electric field. While dealing with electric field we should keep certain things in mind, and those are the characteristics of electric field. So let us see what are the characteristics of electric field. Before we enter into the topic, uh, there are few topics which we must have very clear in our mind. First of all, we should be knowing the expression for electric field. So we know that if we want electric field at given point, say point P due to charge Q, then it can be given as this, where r prime is position vector of the point and r is the position vector of source charge Q. Secondly, we should also be knowing the superposition principle for electric field, which says that the resultant electric field is nothing but vector sum of electric field at given point due to individual charges. And we also know that for system of charges, the electric field can be expressed in this fashion, and this is showing that the charges we are talking about are discrete charges. If you have continuous charge distribution, we prefer integration, and here instead of Q we may have lambda dl or sigma dA or rho dV. Okay, so with that let us start trying to find out important features about electric field. We know that for two charges, the Coulomb's law says that force can be expressed as 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q into q by mod of r prime minus r whole square. Now, does it make any difference if I take r prime here or r here in first place? As far as we have mod, it makes no difference. And then if you are asked what this F is, this force is the force experienced by Q as well as the other Q, smaller Q. So both are experiencing same force, and here we don't have direction mentioned. If we want direction of the force, it can be given as this. So now we have force exerted on small q due to capital Q, and this is the expression. The numerator is giving us direction part of the force. Similarly, in case of electric field, when you want electric field at point P, suppose I don't want this Q, I want influence of capital Q at this point, so, say point P. So now this Q is source charge and I want to find out electric field at P point, so I'll have to place test charge here. So when you place test charge, the electric field can be given as this. Now when you place test charge, it may be going away, it may be going towards the capital Q. It is very much possible that the test charge may experience force in this direction, or it may get attracted towards the source charge. And how do we know that? So we just have to look at the direction of force. So what is the direction of electric field? Direction of electric field is direction of force experienced by test charge. Which test charge we should prefer? Is it necessary that you always prefer +1 coulomb? No, it is not necessary. You can take any charge as test charge, because whichever value you place here, ultimately we are going to divide force with that value. So answer will remain independent of value of test charge, but that is theoretical. Practically there is one problem which we will face if we take test charge of higher value. Consider system of charges. Say there are 4 charges and I have point P where I want to find out electric field. Now what superposition principle says? It says that if you want to find out electric field, you first find out the electric field at point P due to individual charges and then sum up. So earlier we have discussed that for system of charges, electric field can be represented this way. Here E1, E2, E3, E4 are individual electric field and take summation. And then this is what we get. As earlier we have discussed, we will not discuss it again. This is the end result, that electric field at point with position vector r can be given as this. Now look at this situation, and suppose we are given choice that as test charge we have plus 1 coulomb, plus 2 coulomb, plus 3 coulomb. Which test charge I should prefer? Now theory says that if you take 2 coulomb charge here as test charge, divide your force by 2. If you take 5 coulomb charge, find out force, divide your answer by 5. If you take 10 coulomb as test charge, find out force, divide your answer by 10. And hence theoretically every time you divide the force by value of test charge, so answer will remain same, but that is for maths. Practically what will happen, when you bring your test charge, suppose I am bringing my test charge from larger distance to place it here, and suppose I have chosen 10 coulomb as my test charge, say plus 10 coulomb. So I am coming with my plus 10 coulomb charge, and I'll put my 10 coulomb charge, and I know that I'll first find out force on 10 coulomb due to all the 4 charges, and then I'll divide my answer by 10, so answer should not be affected because of this value. But it is not so practically. The reason is, when you bring 10 coulomb charge, this 10 coulomb will exert force on Q4, it will exert force on Q3, Q1 and Q2 as well. So by the time you place it here, these 4 charges will not remain at their places, and hence when you take larger value of test charge, indirectly you are disturbing the system, and then the value of electric field which we want to measure will change. What does it mean? It means that test charge should be chosen as small as possible. Test charge is positive or negative, it's not. You can take positive test charge or negative test charge, but it has to be as small as possible so that it does not disturb the original system which is producing electric field. Okay, so that we should keep in mind. One more thing about electric field, that once you find out electric field, suppose I have found out electric field at point P. Now I know what is the influence of surrounding on this point, and now I don't need to worry about whether the influence is because of system of charges, or it is because of line charge distribution, or surface charge distribution, or volume charge distribution, because the electric field has represented the effect. Electric field is presenting effect of charge in the surrounding. It may be discrete charge, it may be continuous charge. We don't need to worry about that because we have understood the effect, we know the effect. So once you know the electric field at given point, you don't need to worry about the source of electric field. It can be any source, but we have understood the effect, we have understood the influence at given point, and so which kind of source it is not very important. Okay, so these are the characteristics of electric field. Let us conclude. So first of all, the test charge which we use to determine electric field should be as small as possible. What is the reason behind this? Because if test charge is very large, then it will disturb the system which is producing electric field and you will not get correct answer. So test charge should be as small as possible so that the original system of charges is not disturbed. Secondly, once we know electric field at given point, we need not to worry about who has produced the electric field. It can be electric field due to line charge or surface charge or volume charge or any discrete system of charges. We have understood electric field, we have got electric field, and that is all. We understood the effect of charges at given point. Now, who has produced the electric field is not of very much importance. So we need not to worry about source of electric field. Third, that the direction of electric field at given point is the direction of force experienced by the test charge. So in whichever direction test charge tries to move is the direction of electric field. And lastly, this was first time elaborated by scientist Faraday, and one thing we should not forget about electric field is that it is physical reality. Though we may not be able to see electric field, but it doesn't mean it is not in existence. Electric field is very much existing, and it is not any imaginary concept. It is physical reality. Okay, so with that we conclude. Thank you.